Thank you, Mark. Good evening, everyone. Villa have lost twice at home all season, whereas Maurizio Pochettino's side have lost 6 of their last 7 away from Stamford Bridge. It's a good job for Chelsea that often form goes out of the window in the FA Cup because those stats are not encouraging. Unai Emery is without the injured Ezri Konsa, who has started every Premier League game this season. He's going to miss around about a month. Matt Cash comes in at right back. It's the only change from Saturday. Douglas Luiz has recovered from the illness that meant he came off at half-time of Saturday's morning of Sheffield United. Ollie Watkins has never scored an FA Cup goal for the club, but Villa's top scorer might fancy his chances tonight. Chelsea have conceded 8 goals in a week. It's why they make a couple of changes tonight. They start with Nicholas Jackson, but not Christopher Nkunku. He drops to the bench, as does Raheem Sterling and Thiago Silva, as Pochettino tries to reinvigorate the side. Cole Palmer has been Chelsea's most potent weapon. He will move into the false 9 position, and Jackson switching to the left on occasion. A repeat of cup finals past is the prize on offer. The 1996 League Cup final, which Villa won against Leeds, or the 1970 FA Cup epic, in which Chelsea came out on top. Who's going to join Leeds in round 5? Lee Dixon, Villa chasing top 4. Chelsea have got a cup final to play later in the month, but a cup double could be a season saver. How important is tonight for both?
Well, absolutely, for different reasons from Villa's point of view. Continuing the good work, going out from the back pretty well, straight from the kickoff. Full of confidence. They were absolutely superb against Sheffield United at the weekend. They really were. Poor opposition, yes, but they took them apart in the first 20 minutes. As far as Chelsea are concerned, I'm sure Poch, after his interview, I felt the pressure he was under, so a win here will do him the world of good.
Well, Unai Emery has made Villa Park a fun place to come and watch football. Villa usually win, and it's almost always entertainment, and they play an enterprising brand of football. Here's McGinn looking for Tielemans. It might come through to Bailey. Chelsea rather haphazardly deal with that and get it away. And now look to break themselves. This is Chilwell. Jackson taking on Matt Cash for the first time tonight. Almost squeezing past him, but Uba Kamara is there to help out, and he's been so important for Aston Villa so far this season.
Well, he does that a lot. Kamara helps out the back 4, I think. Aaron Roy, you were talking about that before the game. His positional play, absolutely superb. And those two in the middle of the park for Villa, Douglas Luiz with his superb passing, and as soon as he gets the ball, he's having a look up for Watkins up top, whose movement at the weekend, Sam, was just sensational. He just tore 3 centre-backs of Sheffield United to pieces.
Chelsea will need to be wary of Villa making a fast start. They did score 4 times in that first half an hour that Lee's referring to in the blitz at Bramall Lane, and they killed the game before half-time. This is Bailey taking it away from Disasi. And now McGinn. This is Douglas Luiz, who we know can hit them. Finds Cash instead. He's got options in the centre. Cash's delivery goes to the back post, and that's the wrong option.
He's got to go for goal there, hasn't he, Marino? He's in a really good position. He just tried to head it back straight in the middle of the goal. He wasn't sure about the offside. The flag didn't go up. Great work on the right-hand side from Cash.
Moreno scored the 5th goal on Saturday, and he's had a golden opportunity in the early part of the game here. Twice Villa have put Chelsea on the back foot early on. Douglas Luiz, and they stretch it out to Moreno again.
Well, the feature so far, Sam, that I've noticed, 2 missed tackles in the midfield for Chelsea. Just look at the far post. He's definitely onside. He's just trying to put it back into Watkins' path, but maybe the angle's a bit tight, doing him a disservice. But 2 tackles that Villa have took, that Chelsea have just dangled the foot at. McGinn on that left-hand side, I think it was Caicedo, right the first minute of the game. Set your stall out, but no, they're just dangling a foot at the moment, Chelsea.
This is Caicedo. Chelsea do bring the ball out sufficiently this time, and Enzo Fernandez is on the gallop. Wanted the return from Nicholas Jackson, didn't get it. This is Conor Gallagher. Chilwell, the captain. A little bit lackadaisical from Jackson, and then as he tried to recover, he committed a foul.
I think there's a little bit of conversation before the game as well about the lack of communication on the pitch and little words here and there between players 5 or 6 yards apart there would have helped. Just got to talk to each other.
Mauricio Pochettino has had another turbulent week. The nature of those back-to-back defeats to Liverpool and Wolves have increased the scrutiny. Prior to that, they had been on a run of 5 wins in 7 games and 10 unbeaten at home. And it came to a rather crushing end. He did say in his press conference yesterday that he had a text message from the owners who have given him their backing.
The text of confidence.
Bailey trying to get on the end of that long ball, but miscontrolled it, and it is a throw in to Chelsea, which, can I say, though, has just about evaded the attentions of Douglas Luiz from Noni Madueke. Loves to come in on his left foot. Looks for Cole Palmer, who almost steered it into the path of Conor Gallagher. Good move that by Chelsea.
Yeah, Madueke on that side, just showing a little bit of the ball. Is he going to go down the outside and then just picks a pass out? Mirror opposite of his goal. Outside of the, sorry, inside of the right foot on that occasion on his left foot. Decent move from Chelsea.
Interesting to see Cole Palmer's position tonight. He is playing as that false 9 with Jackson playing wider on the left-hand side and Gallagher just in behind him. Is that a position that you can get the best out of Conor Gallagher and Cole Palmer in?
Well, he's their best player by far at the moment, so he's playing where he wants to play, and he likes that little 10 position. Just gives the centre-back something to think about when he wanders into that midfield area, and when he picks the ball up, he's pretty potent when he's running at defences, and as I said, he's popped up in the penalty area. And if they were to get a penalty, Chelsea, he's pretty good from the spot as well, isn't he? Not missed one yet.
5 out of 5 so far. I'm sure that Gareth Southgate is considering him for selection for the European Championships in the summer. There's quite a few that he's considering, I would have thought. Here's Chilwell, another one who wants to be on that plane. Looking for Enzo Fernandez. Trying to roll past Bailey, and he concedes the first corner of the game in front of the whole 10. Baniashil coming up from the back. He is a weapon. Disasi's already got 2 goals this season. Chilwell, the architect of this set piece. It's towards the back edge of the penalty area where everyone in blue has vacated, but Chelsea have kept it alive. And Enzo Fernandez hits it straight at Emi Martinez.
Sure, he expected it at all.
Petrovic quickly out of his goal to deal with the threat of Ollie Watkins. Emery's not too happy. He wants his team to just grab a little bit of composure. They have won 20 of their last 23 home matches. Mauricio Pochettino would have noted that their only defeat in the Premier League since February was when Newcastle came here and stole off with 3 points a couple of weeks ago, and they were vulnerable from set pieces that night.
That was a really good chance from Chelsea from that corner. He put it into the box. There was like no one near the first one. I think he misread the corner taker, Chilwell. Second ball in. It was a gift.
McGinn just allows that to run through towards Moreno on the left-hand side. Malagusto got back and did well to divert it out for a throw-in. He got caught out initially with the movement of John McGinn and the fast running down that left-hand side of Alex Moreno.
do give their full-backs full licence to get forward on both sides. It's mainly due to Kamara's position. I think Karen mentioned it before the game, how he just sits in there and helps out the two centre-backs, and it just enables them to stay high and wide, the full-backs.
Enzo Fernandez, this is Disassi. Malagusto was sent off in the league meeting between the two for a rather tough-looking challenge on Luca Digne. It's after a VAR review. I know the Chelsea fans on the day weren't too happy about the red card that he got, but he also got away with one down at Fulham the other week. A little bit impetuous, but his deliveries into the box have been pretty useful in the absence of Reece James. Caicedo. Badiashile trying to find Nicholas Jackson. Oh, it's given that straight back to Chilwell. There's a bit of space here for Conor Gallagher to feed Nicholas Jackson. Palmer and Madueke inside the area. Jackson trying to find them. It's Madueke, and it's Conor Gallagher who gets his first goal of the season to put Chelsea in front of Villa Park. Well, that wasn't in the script. Conor Gallagher, who has been Chelsea's captain for most of the season, has put them in front.
Well, he's all part of the winning the ball back. And when he gets involved here, just in midfield, he plays the pass, just keeps running, edge of the box and finds space. It's a good run from Jackson. He creates something, a bit of chaos, and when he just he's already waiting for it. He kind of wants it on his left foot to begin with, but then he just changes his body angle and just looks at that top corner and passes it in there. Absolutely brilliant finish. Jackson just attracts players towards him. That just leaves the space in the 6-yard box. It's a little set-up play, and he already knows where it's going. Martinez watches it into that top corner.
Well, it's been quite amazing, really. The spell he had at Crystal Palace, he was goal-scoring non-stop, but it's been a little bit of a dry spell for him in Chelsea blue. Here is Bailey at the other end. Badiashile getting the block in, but not getting it clear, and Bailey's got another chance. And a sketchy defending from Chelsea.
Well, they got back there, they got numbers in the box. They're already making their way into there. When the ball comes over, it's a little bit scrappy, but that's a good block there, and then he pounces on it. Good foot, not so good second one, but in the end, safety.
Here's Watkins. Petrovic is having his palm stung. It's a good response by Villa.
Yeah, they're bang at it. He's just waiting for it to come down. It's a save he's always going to make. The keeper is straight at him.
That's the first goal that Chelsea have scored in 4 meetings with Aston Villa. Now they're in front, again looking for Tielemans, and they've made a huge mistake here because Chelsea can run clear. Jackson is on the ball, and Badiashile is the one who's run through the middle of the park. It's Malagusto. And you get the feeling that actually Chelsea didn't make the most of what was a great opportunity.
Well, they couldn't decide who to take it. Gusto had the ball, and then Jackson came over between them. They lost a vital few seconds by then. Claret and blue shirts were back, and he tried to force one to the far post. Big opportunity for Chelsea again then.
Conor Gallagher, the first player to score against Aston Villa in the FA Cup since a Stevenage player. They were the team that knocked Villa out last season in the 3rd round. Dean Campbell was famous for a while as a result of that goal. They have had a bad run in the FA Cup over the last few years, Aston Villa. They very rarely have gone beyond the third round.
Jackson did well for the goal because he hung on to the ball a little bit, and that drew a few players towards him, and that just freed up a little bit of space. Gallagher intelligent enough not to run into the bodies and just wait his turn. And when the ball got laid back to him, he already knew where it was going, just a little bit of a lean back, side foot, top corner.
Martinez under pressure from Gallagher. Just wonder whether that goal does just open the game up a little bit. Anyway, gives us a game for Villa to chase, and we know they can do that. Chelsea having a little bit of a, well, the Chelsea fans having a little bit of a laugh at Villa expense, saying how bad must you be if we're winning away. It's 6 defeats in their last 7 on the road for Chelsea. It's not over yet, it's still a very long way to go. We've only played 15 minutes.
It's a good song though, isn't it?
Whilst you're winning. Aston Villa have been winning a lot here. Matt Cash chasing into the corner, just a little bit too heavy for him. Aston Villa felt they shaded both the halves in the first game. They definitely both had missed chances in that match. Villa had a goal disallowed for handball after a terrible mix-up in the Chelsea defence. Martinez had to make a couple of good saves. It was the first time that Villa had avoided defeat away from home to a Premier League side in the FA Cup for 23 years. Let that sink in for a minute. And that sort of underscores just how tough it's been for them in the FA Cup. One bright spot getting to the final in 2015. McGinn. Very quickly, Tielemans was robbed by Enzo Fernandez, and he's steaming away now, needs a bit of support. Sent it out wide for Cole Palmer, who reacted well to it. It's a bit behind Gallagher. Gusto. It's Palmer. Trying to shrug off Longley. Might need some help, and in the end, it gives back to Gusto.
Sure, he really needed to beat him twice, did he? Beats him once, he just didn't want to get away on that right foot. Good skill from him now.
By Douglas Luiz, who felt initially he'd got the ball.
It's nice to see Fernandez snapping into the tackles for Chelsea.
Jackson. Palmer's peeled off to the edge of the area, wanted an earlier ball. It's gone to the back post instead, and Madueke helped it back into a dangerous position, but it was never going to reach its intended target. Palmer's still moaning about the fact that he didn't get it earlier.
He's won the ball back, Enzo, a couple of times in that midfield area. That'd be a nice partnership if they, to get that going. It's not up so far.
Well, he's still young, isn't he? Enzo Fernandez. They're both still very, very young, actually. And they've had meteoric rises, been thrust into the centre of that midfield with big price tags. Different teams, different partnerships, lots of injuries around them. Certainly hasn't been a settled scenario. It does take a little bit of time to adjust after coming in after the whirlwind trip to the World Cup last year. Kamara. Thomas Brown says play on. And Chelsea are away again here, and Madueke has got options left and right, and it's Noni Madueke. Just didn't get enough on it to whip it back in at the near post.
He really looked with that direct run like he was going to produce something then. Again, Enzo just feeding the ball outright, and he's running at the defender long way. He's got him just a little bit of a dummy and take it out on your right foot, but he loves to come in on that left foot. Sometimes you just got to give the defender something to think about.
Well, Chelsea have certainly started this game brighter than they played in the last 2 matches against Wolverhampton Wanderers and Liverpool. It was pretty even against Wolves on Sunday. They went ahead in the game and then lost their way after conceding 2 quick goals to Gary O'Neill's team. Got undone a couple of times on the counter-attack by Pedro Neto, who is having a brilliant season in Old Gold. Fernandez finding Caicedo. Gallagher. Malagusto finding Madueke again. Chilwell's an option at the back post. Malagusto with a cross. Bailey filling in, manages to get it clear. Chelsea keep the pressure on.
Yeah, the better side so far, possession-wise. Villa haven't got Watkins into the game at all yet. None of those balls we saw at the weekend down the sides of the centre-backs. Got a good line for Chelsea and a good press in midfield.
Fernandez finding Disasi. Madueke has turned, he's got green grass to run into again. And he likes that. This is Malagusto. Chilwell, another option at the back post. It's headed in, and it's a brilliant goal. Nicholas Jackson steals inside the 6-yard box to put Chelsea 2-0 in front. And they are threatening to rip up the form book. Back from the AFCON with a bang. Nicholas Jackson gets Chelsea's 2nd goal, and the mood's changing amongst the Chelsea fans now. Well,
Madueke's position, just look at him, he's just free, turns, as soon as he turns and runs, Gusto's in, there's nothing Moreno can do about that, and the ball in is absolutely perfect, no one's picking up. Jackson just goes into the space, in between 2 players. You've always got a chance if the ball's good enough. Doesn't have to do an awful lot. Terrible defending from Villa's point of view, but it all started from not picking up in midfield. Madueke getting the ball and turning at the back 4. They have to drop off. The space is there for Gusto to put an absolute perler in. It's a little bit behind Jackson, to be fair to him, but he just guides it into the corner. And the best side is 2-0 up.
I don't think many people saw this coming. Chelsea 16 points behind Villa in the Premier League this season, going through a bit of a rough patch, but maybe with a point to prove. The tempo, the energy, the desire were questioned in the aftermath of their defeat at the weekend, even by their captain Ben Chilwell. And maybe tonight they've just come out with some intent to put that right. These fans have travelled up the motorway network to the West Midlands. In their numbers, they've sold out their near 7,000 allocation tonight.
Well, they have surprised me, Villa. As I said, I did the game against Sheffield United at the weekend. He's in again here.
Moreno misjudged that. Gusto is away. Palmer wants it pulled back. It's pulled back into the wrong area. And that's a mistake by Gusto. Chelsea could be exposed at the other end now. Another mistake, this time by McGinn. Chelsea have got it back, and Palmer's trying to get it down the side, but this time Enzo Fernandez's ball isn't as precise. It's open.
I'll tell you what a chance again for Chelsea. McGinn giving the ball away in the middle of midfield. A little bit of a better ball to Palmer, and it's 3-0. And it surprised me, Villa, because as I said, they were absolutely superb for the first half an hour at the weekend. Maybe they just turned off. They didn't have an awful lot to do in the second half. 5-0, and it was kind of a breeze, almost a training session. They might just come into this one a little bit overconfident.
Watkins might get away here. Disasi's come across to join him. Tielemans. Bailey. Chipping the ball towards Douglas Luiz, who ended against Malagusto. Well, we did promise you entertainment, and there usually is quite a lot of it at Villa Park these days. I don't think the locals were expecting to see that scoreline. It's in the top left of your screen, midway through the first half. Lovely ball by Bailey into Cash, and Cash trying to make it into something else. And the offside flag goes up.
Great ball from Bailey, but I think that's the first time either of us have said his name, Bailey. He's not been in the game. Tielemans haven't said his name yet. And Watkins has not had a touch, I don't think. It's just been a real poor performance from Villa so far, and Chelsea have been spot on.
Well, he did say actually to Gabriel, didn't he, that he expected Chelsea to come out and put them under pressure right from the very off. Unai Emery. Has won it back. This is Tielemans. And Bailey can't snap his shoulder away before Chilwell comes across. Palmer trying to wriggle out of a tight spot with Watkins harassing him. Free kick given against Ollie Watkins, who's pleading his innocence.
Can't foul him there. It seemed to go down a bit easy, but just letting him have it. Where's he going? He's going absolutely nowhere. There's a little tug on the shoulder. Palmer being very clever, just wins one from the ref there.
Enzo Fernandez. We've seen a lot of the ball in the opening 25 minutes.
He's running the show.
Chilwell's found Jackson. Palmer's come short, then gone towards the back post again. Jackson's run out of room. He's actually in a bit of a purple patch for Chelsea. He went away to the Africa Cup of Nations with Senegal. Nicholas Jackson didn't score on his travels, but he has now got 6 goals in his last 13 appearances for Chelsea. He's getting the ball away, and that is uncharacteristic. Villa have been so good this season, especially here at Villa Park. And they just haven't got going so far. It's good work by Gusto. Wrap that into Fernandez, which was difficult take. It might have been meant for Chilwell. Disasi. Now by Douglas Luiz.
So he did cut that ball out, but again, Conor Gallagher just in that little area in between the lines. We've seen so many times Palmer pick it up there, Conor Gallagher pick it up there, Madueke pick it up, and then they just turn and run at the back four, and the back four has to drop off then. You can't go and engage if the midfielder running at you.
Villa have given the ball away, which has led to this Chilwell attack. His ball slightly imprecise. Now Bailey has a chance to run out of dodge, but he immediately goes backwards rather than forwards because there weren't enough options. Badiashile. Caicedo being harassed by Watkins. Okay, again, he's running with the ball. He's fed Cole Palmer. Gallagher's made a move into the box. They've won another corner.
Claret and Blue are getting nowhere near Blue at the moment. Every pass that Chelsea make to a player, there's 5, 6, 7 yards space. And then the press comes too late. They're just popping it off. They're doing anything they want to do without any pressure on them, the Chelsea players.
It caused a bit of chaos in the last set piece that they had. Can they ruffle Villa's feathers once again? 2 goals already at the Holt end. Chilwell's delivering. 2 defenders getting each other's way. Longley eventually gets it clear. Bailey with a chance to sprint away, but Gallagher holds him up. No foul, says the referee. Villa fans don't like that. Madueke trying to tease it through to Gallagher and winning yet another corner.
Yeah, runners off the ball, winning the ball back in midfield, and then they've got runners ahead of the ball, and it's a really good challenge from Conor Gallagher. His eyes to the referee, but we can see him winning the ball there. He's not come across the player. And yet another corner for Chelsea.
Jackson barrier short, and Madueke just lurking on the penalty spot. It's a short one this time. Chilwell trying to shoot from distance. Didn't take a nick on this occasion and goes wide of Emi Martinez's goal. Ben Chilwell's 6th game back from a hamstring injury. McGinn, Moreno. Just though he stops him in his tracks again. Chelsea are off and running again. Gallagher has found Madueke. Jackson and Palmer joining. Enzo Fernandez breaking from midfield. That's the great ball from Badia Shield. And Enzo Fernandez in all sorts of bother. Villa's turn to get a little bit irked by their team's performance. Just, I think, upset about the lack of tempo when they get the ball, to not got the urge to get it forward quick enough.
Well, let's give credit to Chelsea, the way they're pressing, the way their shape is. They go to a 4-4-2 when they haven't got the ball. There's no space in between the lines. Tielemans not had a kick. He can't get in between. Douglas Luiz is looking up. The ball's not on over the top. Watkins is on his own. And Chelsea's midfield, Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez have been absolutely superb at just picking the ball up and then playing the next ball through a line.
That's twice they've wanted to take it quickly and twice they've been denied. Have helped Thomas Bramall from VAR tonight. In fact, it's quite a crowded room back at Stockley Park. VAR, Graham Scott, he's got an assistant VAR and a support VAR tonight.
Is the support supporting the assistant, or what's going on there?
Belt and braces. Douglas Luiz towards the far post. Madueke getting there just ahead of Ollie Watkins. Done brilliantly. He's done superbly, and he's still bounding forward, and he's got Palmer to his right, and Jackson is on this near side, the left. Palmer fancies going it alone. And Jackson might have thought about following that in.
Well, at no point did Madueke look like he had control of that ball, but he did brilliantly well to, one, keep it in play, and then two, burst past two players. Absolutely brilliant running, something we haven't seen at all from Villa. There's no off-the-ball running, there's no running with the ball. Chelsea are completely dominant in this game so far.
Palmer, Gusto joining. He's aiming for Enzo Fernandez, but Diego Carlos took no chances. It's another Chelsea corner, and it's been one-way traffic.
This is the first one. He keeps it in himself, and then he just bustles Douglas Luiz off, and he's away. And then he runs inside to create the space on the outside, and in the end, not quite enough bend on. An easy save, one he should make, but another great move from Chelsea.
10 minutes to go before half-time. Chelsea in firm control. He's aiming towards Badiashile. Might come out for Moises Caicedo. Didn't catch that at all well. And now Bailey looking to escape. Conor Gallagher shutting the back door. And I do apologise if any industrial language has bled through our effects mic here at Villa Park. I think there's some frustrations. Running into a cul-de-sac and comes back in field. The Villa just haven't found their rhythm in the game. There's still a long way to go. And a lot of credit, as you say, has to go to Chelsea, but I think he'll be disappointed with the way that they've started.
Yeah, absolutely. Chelsea have done well is setting their lines really well and saying, you have the ball at the back, you're not coming too high, we're not giving space behind, and we're solid in that midfield. And it's standing football from Villa's point of view. The man on the ball looks up, there's not an awful lot of movement ahead. Chelsea are hitting Villa on the break, have done everything really well so far.
Team settling with Enzo Fernandez, and it is a corner which goes against the Argentine. He's not happy about it, he thought he was fouled. Picked the bones out of that one.
Yeah, it's not like that.
Villa corner, flicked on by Watkins. It travelled a very long way. Malagusta has to run it clear. Chelsea were a little bit fortunate there was no one there to convert that chance. I think he was waiting for it, but he did well to drag Chelsea up the pitch.
That's brilliant from Gusto, it really is. He knew it was coming. Diego Carlos waiting his turn. Can I get a tackle? And in the end, he runs out of grass. He's done brilliantly well there to get a foul. That typifies Chelsea.
Carlos as a result of that challenge. Well, if there is any frustration amongst the Villa fans, they'll be encouraged by the statistic that Chelsea have conceded so many goals this season, the most at this stage of a Premier League season in their history, and 8 in the last week. And they have the whole of the second period to try and put things right. Gallagher feels he was fouled. The referee again has allowed it to go on. He wants to keep the game moving. Badiashile. That was meant for Chilwell, who hadn't gone where Badiashile had expected him to dart. Watkins. Now Bailey on the run. Jackson getting back to help out Chilwell.
Well, that's the first time Villa have got the ball to Watkins' feet through a couple of lines of players, but how many blue shirts get back? They're really on it tonight.
By Bailey looking for Watkins. Soda was there. So Fernandez. Roberto Carlos. It's up with Cole Palmer. Chilwell away. Villa's build-up play, all about precision. Some of the passes that Douglas Luiz plays to thread in Ollie Watkins are sublime. They can catch you out in an instant. They did that so well at Bramall Lane at the weekend. They haven't found that range so far tonight.
Yeah, there was no pressure on the ball at the weekend. He could pick any pass he wanted. Ollie Watkins could make any run he wanted. Not been the case tonight at all. Chelsea's midfield pressure has been really, really good.
Taking his time over it, Moreno. Up really how Aston Villa have been in the early part of the game, not giving enough options, not enough movement, a little bit static. He pleaded for patience. He said he believes in the group. He knew they weren't good enough against Wolverhampton Wanderers and Liverpool last week. They've been much better tonight, Chelsea. Here's Gusto. Back to Disasi. Enzo Fernandez. Now Chilwell's got him. Disasi. Now Gusto. Chelsea looking more and more confident on the ball the longer the game goes on.
Well, just look at every time a blue shirt gets the ball, how far the next Villa player is. It's 5-6 yards. It's not close enough. Not enough pressure on the man on the ball at all.
Jackson tangling with Carlos. He thought he was fouled. Something about the FA Cup that brings the best out of Chelsea. They've played in 5 of the last 7 FA Cup finals. It's often been a season saver.
A little bit lucky here, Bailey. An awful lot going on. Maybe it's not a foul, really, is it? Come on.
Can't grab his shirt around his neck and pull him down.
I mean, game's gone.
Douglas Luiz into Tielemans. Gusto. He's played very well. 2 minutes to go before the break. McGinn. Next goal in the game is going to be all important, isn't it? If Chelsea get it, you can't see Villa coming back from 3-0 down. If Aston Villa get it, then you can understand those nerves, those vulnerabilities, those fragilities that we've seen in Chelsea creeping back in.
Especially if it came before first half ends. But you can't see it. Villa have created absolutely nothing.
Chelsea have got one cup final to look forward to. The League Cup final at the end of this month against Liverpool at Wembley. And they want to stay in this competition. 2 cup finals in one season.
It's all right if you win them both. If you lose them both, that ain't great.
And they did that in 2022. Still a long way to go between now and then. They might be in the Carabao Cup final, but Leeds United stand in their way, or Aston Villa's way, in the 5th round of the competition.
It's a good draw, that, isn't it? Flying Leeds as well.
Well, they dominated the ball a lot last night, hit the woodwork 3 times in the game down at Home Park. And they've got a very deep squad. They were able to rest Jorginho and Bamford. Came on late in the game. Somerville, the top scorer, came off the bench in that match. He will be a handful whoever they end up playing. Daniel Farker just getting them to purr at the right time.
I don't mind being in the Villa dressing room in about 3 minutes' time.
Why?
I think you're going to hear a very loud noise from the manager, because they have been really poor. There's been a lack of energy, lack of cohesion, complete opposite to the weekend. They look like they've run out of legs, and there's a 5th round tie at stake. They've just been not good at all, and Chelsea have been totally dominant.
Are you surprised he didn't change it more tonight? Only the one change from the weekend, with a big game against Manchester United on Sunday as well.
Depends what he's, you know, you look at the 4th round with a home draw in the next round. I would play my strongest team, but there was a rumour that he might leave a few out because of the game against United, and obviously wanting to qualify for the Champions League. It would be a huge achievement for this club, but I'm glad he hasn't. Having said that, there's a few on that bench who think they should be on the pitch, because they've been very, very poor in this first half.
Almost as poor as that Chilwell throw. You'll want to see that again. And it might lead to something here. Watkins teed up John McGinn. Narrowly over the top. Well, that mistake could have been costly. It is a corner at the end of the first half.
We've all been there. Never looked like he was going to really get that in the dangerous part of the goal. He kind of side-footed it. I think he should have hit it with his laces, but there's a chance.
Well, this could be the opportunity to revive Aston Villa. It's in towards Watkins, away by Caicedo. Comes out to Moreno. Never caught it. And I think he'll be pretty relieved after his error led to that corner. Well, Chelsea's away form is troubling, and there's not usually a surer bet than Aston Villa at home, but the FA Cup can make a mockery of form. Conor Gallagher and Nicholas Jackson have scored twice in the first 45 minutes to steer Chelsea into a half-time lead. Analysis on the way with Karen Carney and Roy Keane alongside Mark Pugac in just a moment. But at half-time at Villa Park, it's a...
And you've got Diaby on the bench and Ramsey potentially as well. I think they need more input on the wide players. But look, we'll see. But the next goal is the most important thing, as we all know, in this competition.
They've got to get the crowd going, haven't they, Villa, Roy?
Oh, they need something. They need something. Obviously, we can't be writing them off on set pieces. But we look at the midfield. The Chelsea midfield has been outstanding. But Villa need a spark of something.
Well, if you're a Chelsea fan, you've been waiting a long time to see what this team might become. Yeah,
I mean, the average age of this starting 11 is 22, just over 22 years old. So, look, they need to bring out the same energy, but the attitude doesn't change. Clean sheet mentality, and then in the next round.
First 10-15 minutes of the second half will be critical as far as the home crowd are concerned and the home team. You're sure of that? Let's return to our commentators then. Chelsea in control at the moment. Lee Dixon and Sam Matterface.
March 2010 was the last time that Aston Villa came back to win from 2-0 down. It was in this competition in the quarter-finals against Manchester City. They won 4-2 that day. And the form book certainly doesn't favour Chelsea, but the history books do. They've won 8 of their last 9 FA Cup replays, and they were also the last team to stop Aston Villa scoring here. How do Aston Villa claw their way back into the game, Lee Dixon?
Well, they've got to disrupt that midfield. Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez Conor Gallagher just ahead have dominated that midfield area, and that allows them to set their back four where they need to be. And that's why Watkins has had no joy, because there's pressure on the ball, the midfield players, and so the ball over the top and down the sides hasn't come for him to run onto. So they've got to disrupt that midfield. From Chelsea's point of view, same again, sometimes a half-time can come at the wrong time, but I'm sure Pochettino has reminded them of what they did in that first half. So good.
No changes for either of the two teams at the break. There are weapons on both benches which the managers have at their disposal. This is Caicedo. A good first half alongside Enzo Fernandez. Madueke. He was pulled back by Alex Moreno and gave up the ghost before the referee blew the whistle. That decision wasn't forthcoming, and nor was the ball to Watkins.
I remember Tielemans making any sort of contribution in that first half at all.
Slipping out of games. It took him a while to find his feet, Aston Villa, really. Aston Villa was so off it in that first half. It was unlike them. The tempo, the speed, the aggression, all the things that Chelsea were accused of lacking in their last two games was applicable to Aston Villa in that first half. And the FA Cup has been a bit of their kryptonite, Lee. The last time that Aston Villa beat Premier League opposition in the FA Cup was against Liverpool in the semi-final back in 2015. It was a performance constructed by Tim Sherwood, heavily influenced by a teenager called Jack Grealish at the time. Whatever happened to him, eh?
He's on the bench at the moment. He's gone to the pet bench for a period of time, like gets sent every now and again.
Chasing into the corner with Moreno.
Listen, it's really, what, 2 minutes, 10 seconds or so, really quite early, but you get a sense that nothing's changed. There's no difference in the Villa play at this moment in time. The crowd are still the same. Still a little bit late to the closing down. Substitution time won't be far away, I don't think.
Enzo Fernandez. There's a free kick on this occasion. Strange, isn't it, because Unai Emery demands such concentration and intensity in every single match from his team. He gave an impassioned speech about the importance of taking every competition seriously before this game. His programme notes were tub-thumping. His team haven't responded to that. It's been a lacklustre Aston Villa display so far. There's a bit of a hush around Villa Park, usually vibrant and noisy and revelling in the joys that they have provided them this season.
Rory made me laugh before the game when he said there's no better place than a cup tie at Villa Park under the lights. I beg to differ. My memories are not quite as rosy as his.
He had some good victories here. One in particular, if I remember rightly.
Well, he didn't see the end of it, did he?
His team got to the final, though. Here's Cash. Tielemans. Mistake by Cash. Came off the bench at the weekend after Ezri Konsa was injured. It's a bit more of a forward-thinking option. Ben Chilwell's got the ball in his hands. This time he successfully finds a teammate. Chelsea pleased to get him back and get minutes under his belt. There's no doubt about that. He was such a big miss when he wasn't available for them for pretty much most of the season. Ball down that left channel, but Petrovic's starting position was effective.
High five Madueke gets from Gusto. He's down to position the full-back when closing down, and his winger doing a lot of cover in that right-back position, which is what he's supposed to do when he's not there. He don't always do it, though.
It does feel a little bit tepid, doesn't it? And it is Aston Villa on who the onus rests if this game is going to burst into life again, because Chelsea will be quite happy to see this one out. They don't have to force the issue. Longley. Moreno looking for John McGinn. This comes to Sassi. Still manages to get it clear. Palmer into Madueke. Beautiful football. Can they make the most of it? Jackson's made a run, but then just halted. Gallagher's gone the other side. Enzo Fernandez picks it up for Chelsea. Tries to steer it to Gallagher. He left it for Cole Palmer. Just driven a little bit wide. There's lots of room in the box for Gallagher. He's got it back from Palmer. Longley was just a little bit too close for him to have the kind of shot he wanted there. He is the shining light of their billion-dollar splurge.
He is. Super talent. Madueke is doing a really good job on this right-hand side. Just the ability to carry the ball, something that none of the Villa players have done tonight. Carried it with any confidence.
Good touch by Jackson. It's one kindly for Fernandez, who's got it back again. He's sizing one up, and then he had his foot taken away from him.
Pull the trigger back, just catches the back of Tielemans' foot. He's complaining he didn't do anything. Just got in his way. This is a dangerous position.
And they all fancy their chances now. The confidence is flooding through their veins. He's lining up his wall.
Fernandez has taken control so far.
Pochettino would have been impressed with that first 45 minutes, but he's not stupid. He knows that there's a long way for Chelsea to go. Even a victory here tonight is not going to be enough to remove the spotlight, but it will help.
Moved that ball about 5 times now, just playing havoc with Martinez.
Did they move the phone? That's the big question. Enzo Fernandez is going to be responsible for it. Chilwell is alongside it. He's had a good look at Martinez's goal, and it's into the back of the net from Enzo Fernandez, and it's an FA Cup corker. He wants everybody to know his name, because tonight Chelsea have got Villa's number. Well, this will certainly brighten Pochettino's mood. Chelsea's unlikely quest for a cup double doesn't look like ending tonight. Not after that.
Well, he's completely dominated the first half in that midfield. And this is absolutely world-class. That's a world-class goalkeeper. He gets a palm to it, can't keep it out. It's almost behind him when he gets there with his glove. Almost inch perfect, but good enough. And him and Caicedo in that midfield tonight have been the real strong point of this Chelsea team, and he just caps it all off with an absolute worldy free kick.
He is the 8th most expensive player of all time. His recent performances certainly haven't got favourable reviews, but tonight's will, and so will that free kick. It was top draw.
Well, he picked the ball up straight away and he put it down. 2 or 3 other players had a little pick-up, moving the ball, but it was only one taker. He stayed constant, and he's eyeing that top corner up. And when he came to deliver, absolutely word perfect.
Gallagher. Enzo Fernandez did get a booking for his celebration. He took his shirt off as a result of that world-class goal. I think you can let him allow his emotions to get the better of him. He knows that he's been under scrutiny too. Tielemans. Fernandez getting back at him, but he's squeezed it through to Kamara. It's a bit behind Bailey, who's adjusted his position well. Kamara's gone steaming through the centre. Chelsea did enough to see it back to the goalkeeper.
Yeah, at least he had some runners beyond the ball there.
Well, should have been a free kick in the first place.
He set himself up for the shot. He's just on the way down. Tielemans gets in his way behind. It doesn't look like there's much of a free kick in that at all, but who cares? When you hit it with your instep and your big toe like that, with that curl and that accuracy, and there's the glove. And Martinez may be disappointed he doesn't keep that out, but it's at his full stretch. There's not a lot of room for the ball to fly in, but it does. And Chelsea are completely dominating this game.
Lots to ponder for Unai Emery. Douglas Luiz and Enzo Fernandez involved in a little bit of a dispute. Well, listening to Chelsea fans on the way up, they were talking about needing a miracle to get a victory here tonight. It wasn't so long ago that you were expecting Chelsea to come to places like this and really compete, but such has been the form on the road and the disappointments that they've had away from home, and they certainly weren't expecting this. It's been a commanding performance.
Douglas Luiz and Enzo Fernandez are still told off by the referee.
Bit of Brazil-Argentina beef going on. Palmer's just been moved back from the free kick taker. The referee wants McGinn and Cash to get on with it. McGinn's delivery is in towards Diego Carlos, who couldn't keep his header down.
Yeah, it's good position as well. He's, what, 7 yards out when he gets there. It's a good ball from McGinn, left foot towards the goal. And he gets up there. Perhaps should do a bit better.
Gallagher does well, finds Nicholas Jackson, who in turn shifts it on to Madueke. Chelsea steam forward again. His blue shirt's buzzing on the edge of the box. Madueke wants to come in. The deflection takes it wide and out for a corner. Such a threat when they're running with pace.
End product, gets a shot on goal. Again, carrying the ball, making claret and blue shirts run back to their own defensive area. He's played well tonight, Madueke. He's created a lot of problems for Moreno.
Chilwell. He got the better of Moreno and then thought he'd get the foul, neither of which ended up coming his way. Chelsea got the press on straight away. Douglas Luiz looking to escape. Cole Palmer just leaving a little bit on him. Maybe in those situations, Chelsea aren't letting Villa get out, are they? Even if it is that little disruptive foul.
Well, they've been the most together I've ever seen them this season, Chelsea. They've been their formation, their tactics, the spaces between each player has been absolutely spot on. They've done everything together.
Where has that come from?
I don't know. The only place you really hone it in is on the training ground. You don't learn an awful lot on match day because there's so much going on. It's during the week, Monday to Friday. That's where you.
Well, there hasn't been too many training sessions for him since the Wolverhampton Wanderers game, but he deserves credit for getting them on point tonight.
And also, it needs to be said that they're playing Villa on a real off night compared to how they played at the weekend. Obviously, the Newcastle game wasn't great. There's been a blip there, and there's certainly a blip tonight.
Can I say that? Half an hour to go. And Aston Villa need 3 goals just to force it into extra time. And good news for their supporters is that only Liverpool and Manchester City have scored more Premier League goals this season than vibrant Villa. They haven't looked too likely to get on the score sheet tonight as of yet. Jackson. Gallagher. Bailey getting back to help out his defence, and Villa have regathered possession. Bailey's made a really good run on that right-hand side, and Cash has declined the invitation to put it through to him. I say though, thought he'd got that cleanly. He was disappointed to hear the whistle from Thomas Bramall. And these are the situations that now Villa have got to make the most of. Douglas Luiz into the box. Chelsea trying to defend it. Watkins lurking with intent. There's a collision.
It's offside as well.
It's Clement Longley who's down and needing attention. But Chelsea firmly in control, and this is why.
Yeah, really good. Conor Gallagher is involved in the winning the ball back, and he just follows his pass. Edge of the box, stays away from the men in the box, and just gets it into that top corner, and that's a brilliant ball from Gusto on the right hand side, and Jackson just all he needs to do is guide it in, and that icing on the cake from the man controlling the midfield, Enzo Fernandez. And that's why Chelsea have been dominant. Every time they get the ball, he's got options on it from the passing point of view, but they're closing down as well. Has been fiery.
Watkins from a rare Chelsea mistake. Sassy driving him wide. Bailey. He's found McGinn just about. He's wriggled through. He's out for a goal kick. He wants a corner.
I'm sure he wants a foul, actually. I think he thought he got pushed off the ball just as he was hitting this. Just that tackle there. Casado it is as he comes in, yeah, right on his standing foot. But he got his shot away. He goes in the bottom corner. He doesn't want a foul.
Well, that'll hurt him, and so will this performance. He's the kind of character that will play anywhere as long as it's not on the bench. And Chelsea delaying things so much that the referee, I think, is coming over to have a word with Petrovic. The ball not go where it was supposed to.
No idea what that's for.
Chelsea are certainly not going to be in any hurry to get the game restarted whenever there are dead ball situations. Cash. This is Kamara. You're a little bit surprised, Lee, that Unai Emery hasn't turned to his bench yet.
Well, to me, it's like, well, why hasn't he changed it? Do you think the game's gone and he's saving players for the weekend? I don't know. Maybe he just thinks, you know, you put yourself in this trouble and get yourself out of it. He might be one of them. Certainly played in teams where that's happened. But if you just look at the man on the ball when he looks up, he's just walking, claret and blue shirts. There's no one running at all.
Cash. Kamara. What the hell will deal with that tomorrow at Bodymore Heath, in the Aston Villa training ground. Madueke with Palmer going on the outside, but Madueke continuing his run. Conor Gallagher shifting it back out to Palmer. Jackson made an intelligent run. Palmer allowed to travel with the ball. Bit loose from Gusto. Might encourage Aston Villa. Just a bit reticent to get it forward quickly. Gusto's done well to win it back.
Watkins made a run then, but McGinn couldn't get out of his feet. As soon as he started to look up to play the ball, there's two Chelsea shirts all over him.
They've been hungrier. They've been more aggressive, they've been crisper in the pass, and they've been more ruthless with their finishing than they have been at many parts of the season so far. It's one of Chelsea's best performances under Pochettino, and it's come at just the right time. Chilwell continues. Is the referee going to pull it back for a foul? He's not. Pochettino is furious, and Villa are on the break. And Tielemans can't find his pass to Bailey.
I think we're going to see the number 8 go up very shortly.
Well, the number 8's already gone up once tonight. It was held aloft by the wearer. Enzo Fernandez celebrating his goal. Casado, a little bit dicey. He's done enough to keep Villa immediately at bay, but they're still coming and threatening with Bailey, who skates forward for Aston Villa. Watched by Badiashile. Held him up well, Tielemans. Enzo Fernandez blocks him. Chilwell goes across. Bailey's still got it. Kamara. More persistence about Villa, but again, another pass lets Tielemans down. Trying to get the return from Bailey. And in towards John McGinn. It's a brilliant block from Axel Disasi.
Yeah, he's enjoyed that. Look at him. High fives from his fellow defenders. Right place, right time. Centre-backs in front of the goal. Always a good idea. Just takes up that near post position. McGinn thinks he's got it away from him.
Villa trying to construct something from a set piece which might just spark this ground back into life. Right under Petrovic. Almost lost it. I think he would have been given the foul had that been the case.
I'm surprised he hasn't adopted the Martinez time-wasting catch drop to the floor yet.
They are going to make a couple of changes now. Going to see Jacob Ramsey and Moussa Diaby. There's Jacob Ramsey coming on. John McGinn and Yuri Tielemans are the men that are being replaced. Diaby coming off the bench. Ramsey, both of them with attacking intent. Diaby's just gone a little bit quiet after a bright start in a Villa shirt. He's left out the starting lineup, Diaby, at the weekend. His form just dipped, really. He's sort of been playing as a second striker behind Ollie Watkins this season, Diaby. He's keen to make an impact tonight. And force himself back into the team ahead of the weekend game with Manchester United, which is a huge one, really, now. If they are to go out of the cup this evening. Watkins trying to get in behind. Diaby in support, and Jacob Ramsey is broken towards the edge of the box. Watkins has kept hold of it intelligently. It's a good little body swerve. It's a lovely little dribble. In the end, he's held up by a combination of Chelsea defenders, and Disasi was certainly one of them. Disasi had to be decisive. Any mistake there, deadly. Moreno. This is Douglas Luiz. Carlos Watkins, pinched by Chelsea. Madia Shield times his tackle well. And on a free kick, Ollie Watkins is on the ground. And a nervy ball back to Petrovic. A bit of a nervy clearance as well for Chelsea, but Villa again not able to capitalise, and maybe that might be the moment that sparks Villa into a little bit more life.
Yeah, Petrovic having a right gusto there, saying just give it to my feet while you're playing it down there.
Moreno, Ramsey. It's another well-timed challenge, but Moreno's got it back again. Badiashile away, comes back to Diaby. Didn't get the execution of the effort right.
Well, 6 men in front of the goal for Chelsea, blue shirts. It's a really good tackle, and right on the edge of the 6-yard box, and then just look how many shirts are back, closing the ball down. Very difficult technique.
Well, they've had to weather a bit of a storm, and Sterling about to come on for Chelsea. Maybe just to try and take a bit of pressure off. Noni Madueke has run himself into the ground on this right-hand side. Looks like Palmer's going to come out to the right-hand side. Jackson's going to go through the middle now. And Sterling out on the left for Pochettino. Still 15 minutes to go in the game. Chelsea with a commanding lead given to them by Gallagher, Jackson and Enzo Fernandez. Douglas Luiz. Diaby. It's a good turn by Bailey. Can he get any room for the shot? He's trying to guide it back to Diaby. Chelsea got to be a little bit careful here. A decent ball to the back post. Moreno is there. He thought that was going in.
A great little dink ball to the far post. Gusto probably just does enough. Moreno's waiting. He's got the space to run into. Gusto knows he's in a bit of trouble, just jumps into him a little bit. But in the end, he's just guiding it into that far corner and just gets a little bit too much on it. What a rare chance for Villa.
Now Petrovic is now being booked for taking too much time over the goal kick. 13th appearance of the season for Jordan Petrovic, the Serbian who was signed from the MLS in the summer. He's the hero of the League Cup quarter-final penalty shootout. This is Alex Moreno. Douglas Luiz. Boubacar Kamara. And Sterling stands in his way again. He's given the ball away uncharacteristically frequently tonight, Boubacar Kamara.
He's not on his own.
Bailey. On to Diaby. He's in a good position here. Well defended again by Chelsea. Long leg. Douglas Luiz. Jacob Ramsey's stayed out on this left-hand side. Douglas Luiz again. It's Bailey. That's a poor pass. Chelsea not out yet, but they might get out now. Led by Caicedo, with Moreno trying to tug him back. This is Jackson. Got Sterling waiting in the centre. He's been allowed to travel a long way with the ball here, Nicholas Jackson. Palmer took a deflection and that took the sting out of the effort. And the problem with Villa spending much time in Chelsea's half of the field, which they've got to do now, is that they will leave spaces for them to exploit on the counter.
Yeah, they can just get picked off on the break. Someone's gone down. That Casado's gone down the centre of the pitch.
It's not a head injury.
Should go down holding your head. He's holding his back. He's not going to get any sympathy there.
Enzo Fernandez just kicked the ball out now, but he has gone down. And Chelsea about to bring on Thiago Silva. And now Pochettino has decided it's time for a change. Lots of live sport to come on ITV over the course of the next few days and weeks. The Six Nations returns on Saturday, 4 p.m. start. England against Wales, that'd be a cracker. Live from Twickenham, ITV1, ITVX and STV. Ireland against Italy is Sunday, 2:15. Ireland in great form and produced a brilliant performance in Marseille. And they take on Italy at 2:15 on Sunday, ITV1 and ITVX and STV. And how about this? This is a top-of-the-table clash. Could be a decider in the race to win La Liga. Real Madrid against Girona. Saturday night, 5 p.m, ITV4 and ITVX. Jude Bellingham and co. in action at the Bernabeu. Girona have been a great story this season. Well, over the last few days, Thiago Silva has been the story. He is about to come on to the pitch for the final 10 minutes of the game. And without Silva, it's been a golden performance so far for Chelsea.
Yes, Mr. Silva will be pleased, though.
Has anyone checked her Twitter account? Caicedo coming off. And Christopher Nkunku coming on. Looks like Cole Palmer is going to be replaced as well. Palmer's still on this near touchline, miles away from any of the action. I think Anthony Taylor's had a bit of an issue with that board. And technology baffles us all at times. There he is. That's another good performance from Cole Palmer. No goal tonight, but not a bad return. 10 Premier League goals for the club. He is the youngest player ever to score 10 Premier League goals for the club. And he's taking his time before allowing Thiago Silva onto the field of play. And Chelsea will go to a back three now, I anticipate.
Yeah.
Lee here.
I would imagine. They don't really have to do an awful lot. Villa haven't exposed any of their weaknesses at all tonight.
Moises Caicedo, I don't think realises he's been substituted.
He's trying to get back on, isn't he?
I don't think actually that they completed the substitutions they were supposed to there. They just made the one, which was Palmer, who came off for Thiago Silva. Nkunku hasn't come on yet. And Caicedo's now back on the pitch. So I think he is due to be replaced and was due to be replaced, but that didn't happen in that juncture.
That was very confusing.
And for clarity, he's there. He's recovered from his ailment by the looks of it as well. Sterling. Fernandes has beaten to it. Ricochets for Leon Bailey. Jamaican on the sprint. And then trying to send it back to his goalkeeper, but Thiago Silva took matters into his own hands.
So this hasn't happened very often when Villa haven't played well this season, but this is the worst I've seen them. Disjointed all over the pitch from front to back. Nobody really running into space when the guy on the ball's looking for a pass. They've just been second best to everything.
They had two tough games for Newcastle this season, one really early in the season and one just recently. But for the large part of it, they've been brilliant, absolutely superb. A model of consistency at home. They went on a 15-game winning run here, 12 unbeaten before they lost to Newcastle. That this is not the start of a downturn. They've got the ability to really take a firm grip on a European place at the weekend, because if they were to beat Manchester United here, then they would go 11 points clear of them. Diallo. Is there a late flourish in Villa? Douglas Luiz. There's been the brief flicker of life from Villa in this second half. Bailey, stopped by Gallagher. Gallagher, who's handled the speculation that has surrounded him in the last two transfer windows really well. Knuckled down, put performances together for Chelsea. He's got his first goal of the season tonight. He'll be delighted with that. Has missed a couple of opportunities over the course of the season. Maurizio Pochettino is the kind of bloke that you need when everyone else is screaming blue murder around you. He's considered, he's got a good turn of phrase. Yesterday he spoke about football being his passion, not his job. He said entertainment was key, and there's a great story about turning to his coaching team and joking about packing their bags after Villa took the lead in a game against Tottenham in his first spell when he was struggling early on at Tottenham Hotspur. It wasn't a walk in the park. Tottenham came from behind that day, they won it, and he cites that as a turning point in his tenure. He might cite this as a turning point in his tenure as well, Lee.
Yeah, absolutely. He was a little bit spiky with Gabriel before the game, wasn't he? Answering the questions about Silva. He managed to navigate a Gabriel interview. Just. So, yeah, I'm sure he's feeling the pressure, but this will do him no harm at all. His team have been absolutely pitch perfect tonight. Everything they've got right. And it's been goals as well to add to that performance. All over the pitch, they've been solid, the back four. But for me, the teamwork, the togetherness, which we haven't seen from the Chelsea side an awful lot this season. Each department has played the part, but they've been linked to each other as well.
Just making another change, Badiashile looks like he's got an injury, which is not great news after the way that back four sort of gelled together tonight. Alfie Gilchrist is coming on. Alfie Gilchrist, who the Chelsea fans were singing about earlier, is one of their own. He started the first game between the two. And Nicholas Jackson has just sneaked off the pitch to be replaced by Nkunku for the last few minutes.
I've had Nkunku on the pitch for the last 10 minutes, according to my notes.
Oh, no, he's not been out there, I'm afraid. It was when they were going to make the change for Caicedo and they'd put a little slip in, but Anthony Taylor couldn't get that board working. He's still struggling with it now. Tim Irabunum is on. Leon Bailey is off. And Nico Zaniolo is also onto the field of play for the last few minutes. Longley. And the pressure from Sterling. They're giving the ball away to Chelsea again. Trying to win it back. Zaniolo fighting with Gallagher. Free kick goes Aston Villa's way. Confirmation of those substitutes on the bottom of your team. Luiz. We're going to try and pick out Matt Cash over on that far side. A bit too heavy for him. And there's confirmation of the changes for Aston Villa. And they were very active, or I suppose active by the January transfer window standards. Aston Villa. Lino Sousa, they bought him in a teenage left-back. They loaned straight out to Plymouth. Costa Nedeljkovic was bought and loaned back to Red Star Belgrade. They have acquired the former Manchester City trainee Morgan Rogers, who came in from Middlesbrough, and available tonight because he wasn't registered before the first game between the two. So if they are using too many of the same players, then they can freshen things up a little bit. Rogers will certainly be keen to make an impact in the second half of the season. Enzo Fernandez, who scored that terrific goal, has had to deal with a bit of speculation about his future. There's agent talk about him being touted around for a move. I'm not sure anyone's going to pay the money that Chelsea did for him. But one of the reasons that he held up his shirt, I think, was to identify that he was very much a Chelsea player. And tonight he has delivered on some of that promise that he's shown in the World Cup with Argentina and that brief spell with Benfica. Diari strikes it, and he's in. And a consolation goal for Aston Villa, scored by Moussa Diaby.
Well, he's scrappy, you have to say. And it comes from in the edge of the box. It looks like he mishits it, but it's right in the corner. Hits the post and in. Petrovic will be really, really upset that that's gone in. Clean sheet's gone. It's a consolation. Goes through a lot of bodies as well. Keeper's looking ahead. Where's my defence? Look at the legs it comes through.
(3-1) Chelsea. And Aston Villa on the score sheet again, but a little bit too little too late. They've had 4 minutes indicated. Here's Sterling looking for Gallagher. Gallagher trying to get his second of the night. Says Semi Martinez. And they're not going to come back from here, surely, are they?
No. Go on, I'll stick my neck out.
It's good of you to do so.
Oh, he'll be disappointed as well.
And so will Lee, I think, with the overall performance. Their unimpressive FA Cup record is continuing. They haven't been beyond the 4th round since they reached the final 9 years ago, Aston Villa. And there will be an inquest. Here's Diaby. He's already got 1 goal. Can he get a second? Teeing it up for Cash to hit it. Away by Thiago Silva. And it's a late corner for Aston Villa, whose supporters want them to have a late flourish.
Because every time you need 10 minutes of extra time, they've only got 4.
Back in from Cash. Flicked away by Disasi, who's been important for Chelsea tonight. Moreno re-centres the ball. It's headed down by Irabunum. And it's straight into the arms of Petrovic. And a few late nervy moments.
Yeah, he gets up early, there's not enough power in it, but Zaniolo just reacting on the fumble. Not quite close enough to the goalkeeper.
Well, interestingly, Pochettino yesterday tried to compare Chelsea to building a house. Certainly laid an extra few bricks tonight. And he took it out of the sky brilliantly. And he's kept Chelsea up inside Villa territory, which at this stage is probably a good thing. It's probably time to do our player of the match in just a second. Here is Nkunku, a lovely reverse pass. Jackson to try and finish it. Good save by Emi Martinez. I think it was Caicedo actually who stole in round the back and got the touch on it. Caicedo again. Good link-up play between Caicedo and Nkunku. But what about your player of the match?
Well, there's been a few, certainly for Chelsea. Caicedo, Gallagher, I thought, has had a good game. Madueke, the back 4 have all played well, but for me, it's this man. He just ran the show in the first half, broke down play, passed through lines, and scored that to cap it all off. So Enzo Fernandez, my player of the match.
Well, somehow, some way, Chelsea summon a performance that allows them to inflict defeat on one of the best home teams in the land. Congratulations go the way of Enzo Fernandez and to Maurizio Pochettino, who said he needed more time and that he was rebuilding from zero. On this evidence, he might have proved his point. He left out Thiago Silva tonight. and those on the pitch certainly delivered. Gallagher with his first goal of the campaign got Chelsea off and underway. Jackson coming back from AFCON to get yet another goal in Chelsea blue, his 6 in 13 games. And then that terrific free kick from Enzo Fernandez, which put the seal on what has been a comprehensive victory for Chelsea tonight, and they're delighted to revel in it, and so is he, Lee Dixon.
Yeah, absolutely. There's been questions before the game about Chelsea and Villa. Can they keep going, Villa? And the answer to that is no, and tonight they were very, very poor, but the Chelsea side have really reacted to the pressure they're under. A brilliant performance from the goalkeeper to the centre forward through all departments, and Pochettino must be really, really pleased with the response after a couple of poor defeats, conceding 8 goals. They've been brilliant tonight.
They wanted it tonight, didn't they? And they got it. It's Chelsea against Leeds for a place in the quarter-finals of the FA Cup, and vanquished Villa have to turn their attentions elsewhere. It's finished at Villa Park tonight. Aston Villa 1, Chelsea 3.